want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahushai Bahasham Ha Rakah Quadash, double honors unto our apostle elders which rule great millstone well, and shalom to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. May you endure unto the end. Shalom wa abba babal. This is Jeremiah 23, verse 5. For we have a sure word of prophecy. It says, for the time is coming, says Yahweh, when I will raise up a righteous descendant from King David's line. I'm reading this in the NLT, Jeremiah 23, and it's speaking of Yahushai, which he was King Solomon, the son of King David. All right. He will be a king who rules with wisdom. He will do what is just and right throughout the land, and this will be his name. Yahweh is our righteousness. In that day, Judah will be saved, and Israel will live in safety. In that day, says Yahweh, when people are taking an oath, they will no longer say, as surely as Yahweh lives, who rescued the people of Israel from the land of Egypt, which is the story of Exodus. Instead, they will say, as surely as Yahweh lives, who brought the people of Israel back to their own land from the land of the north, talking about North America, and from all the countries to which we had exiled them, then they will live in their own land. So we're going to be brought back to the promised land, and Yahweh is going to send his son, Yahushai, to make this happen. All right? It'll be the new covenant because we will be living in new bodies. All right? It says in Jeremiah 30, verse 7, Allah's, which is an expression of grief, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. Talking about the elect of Israel. They'll be saved out of it. I'm going to jump down to I'll just read through verse 8. For it shall come to pass in that day, saith Yahweh of hosts, that I will break his yoke from off thy neck, and will burst thy bonds, and strangers shall no more serve themselves of him. Which pretty much the spirit of Egypt is going to fail. There ain't going to be no more work. There won't be no more, pretty much safety in America, because we're at the end of America, and America ends violently. It says in verse 9, but they shall serve Yahweh their power, and David their king, whom I will raise up unto them. Which he's done sending King Masha, all right? But eventually, when Yahushai returns, he's going to establish King David, all right, as the king of Israel. Therefore, fear thou not, O my servant Jacob, saith Yahweh, neither be dismayed, O Israel, for lo, I will save thee from afar, because he's coming from the east and we're in the west, and thy seed from the land of their captivity, which were in North America, and really scattered throughout all the world amongst all the countries. And Jacob shall return and be in rest, and be quiet, and none shall make him afraid. For I am with thee, saith Yahweh, and that's why we're prophesying of his son Yahushai in the word of Yahweh, to save thee. Though I make a full end of all nations, whether I have scattered thee, yet I will not make a full end of thee, but I will correct thee in measure, which 2/3 aren't going to make it. All right, they're going to be left here to die because they are lost in the sauce. They have no belief in the scriptures, and will not leave thee altogether unpunished. All right, so those 2/3 are going to be punished like heathen, but the 1/3 is going to be delivered. Isaiah 14:1. For Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. And if I could just remind you, Jacob in the reincarnation would be King David, King Masha. All right? Jacob being the father of Israel, King Masha is King David. King David is the father of Israel being the king. All right? So Jacob is speaking of King David. All right? And Jacob, he wrestled an angel. All right? Just as David showed mighty works as fighting Goliath. All right? Moses going against Pharaoh. All right? So the Lord is going to establish King David as the king of Israel when he returns. Yahweh Shai is the king of kings. All right? It says, for Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel. Remember, the promises went to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. Yahweh Shai is going to pick us up, change us, give us new bodies, and then put us back in our promised land. And the strangers shall be joined with them, which are the Israelites. And they shall cleave to the house of Jacob, which they're going to take on the way of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. All right? So the Lord gave us King David as he promised us, but he still, it ain't over for King David. King David is going to sit on the throne forever over Israel. All right? Malachi 4 verse 5, behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of Yahweh, which happened, Abba Bivens, which he's Abraham, he's Aaron, all right? So when you understand the reincarnations, you understand that these two men, King Masha, King David, and Abraham, Aaron, Elijah, John the Baptist, Abba Bivens, all right, they came because we're at the end of the so-called white man's age. It says the prophet Elijah the prophet, before the coming of the great and dreadful day of Yahweh, judgment day. And he shall turn the heart of the fathers, the elders, to the sons being the Israelites that are younger than the elders like King Masha, all right, which you have now elder Apostle Tahar. All three or four of the apostles that came out of One West that are over Great Millstone now, and the heart of the sons to their fathers, right, which now they're wiser than their own elders, lest I come and smite the earth with a curse, which we're in the time of that curse, the nuclear destruction of America, after they make that implantable microchip mandatory for buying and selling, all right? It says in Matthew 24, verse 14, and this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come, which already happened since 2007 on YouTube. All right? So now as we wait for the implantable microchip to be made mandatory for buying and selling, which will be the prophecy before the nuclear destruction, all right, which that's the curse that's going to come upon the earth with the chariots, because the chariots are also considered a curse that come upon the earth. It says in Zechariah 5 verse 3, then said he unto me, this is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth, for everyone that stealeth shall be cut off as on this side according to it, and every one that sweareth shall be cut off as on that side according to it. All right, which is the chariots, the flying roll. It says in verse 1 of Zechariah 5, Then I turned and lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll, which you know is a so-called UFO. And he said unto me, What seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof 10 cubits, which come with Yahushai. Revelation 19, verse 13, it says, And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, which is coming with judgment, Yahushai being sent from his father Yahweh. And his name is called the Word of Yahweh, which the Bible speaks of him. And the armies which were in heaven, the angels, followed him upon white horses, the chariots, all right, the flying rolls, clothed in fine linen, white and clean. And out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, that with it he should smite the nations, all right, which he's going to smite them because they have us in captivity. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron, and he treadeth the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of Almighty Yahweh. And he hath on his vesture and on his thigh a name written, King of Kings and Lord of Lords. And I saw an angel standing in the sun, and he cried with a loud voice, saying to all the fowls that fly in the midst of heaven, Come and gather yourselves together unto the supper of the great power. And so they're going to eat the flesh of the dead, all right, because it tells you that the earth is going to be covered with the dead. America is going to be made extinct, all right. It's going to be wiped off the face of the earth through the nuclear missile that is going to be shot off by its ally and its enemy, according to the scriptures, all right. It's prophesied the destruction of America is going to shake the earth, all right. And you have the Lord coming from the east, which he's going to mount the troops. All the world's troops are going to be gathered in the valley of Jehoshaphat, which is from Turkey down to Yemen. Look on a terrain map from Turkey to Yemen. All the troops of the world are going to be gathered there fighting each other. But eventually they're going to see Yahushua and the angels, the armies of heaven, and they're going to turn to fight them. And the Lord's going to mount them. All right? All praises and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham HaRakakodash, double honors unto our apostle elders, which rule great millstone well, and shalom to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. May you endure unto the end. Shalom, ba 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 ba.